Tucker Carlson and Fox News have decided to go their separate ways, and that's the story that we was told. But now what's being reported is, girl, Tucker was like, no, sister. He didn't even get a chance to do his final, send off and all the other stuff, retiring, moving on to new things. No, Fox News pulled the plug. Period. Like they said, it's a chop. He said it's a chop. So it's very interesting this is happening because this is actually like a week after the Dominion voting settlement that Fox News did with them. Like they had to pay them close to $800 million. This is the largest settlement in U.S. history. They had to pay Dominion like $800 million. Now folks are speculating and saying that maybe in the agreement that Dominion asked that Tucker Carlson be let go, considering that he was one of the folks that was he's a right-wing, host. He's one of the top cable news, not even just on Fox, but just across the board. And he was out here saying some very interesting stuff. And it has been one of those reporters and stuff who, been out here reporting on stuff that's not factual. Now, some of the stuff that's been said behind the scenes is that Tucker Carlson would other reporters and stuff that was fact checking and putting out right information. He was going against them. So, Fox News have let him go. I don't think Fox News wanted to let him go. I think that was probably one of the things in the settlement and stuff, because Tucker Carlson was bringing in Fox News money. He was he was getting them viewers. He's number one. He was just getting them stuff. What's funny is Tucker Carlson used to be on MSNBC, which is quite interesting. But he is no longer there. A lot of folks was praising it. I know The View, you had, the host on The View was clapping and waving and stuff. And it's just I see that we're celebrating this stuff, but honestly, I don't think it's nothing to celebrate. And I want to talk about it. I actually watched a video talking about, how media, our cable news companies and stuff are moving towards, right-wing media, because that's where the money is at. And what's going to happen is Fox News is just going to replace Tucker Carlson with somebody else who doesn't get them sued, but somebody just as ignorant as he is. And the same thing going on with CNN letting Don Lemon go. I been saw this coming. When he made that comment about Nikki Haley not being fit or whatever, past her prime, they jumped on that. I bet you CNN was ready. They was yeah, we got him. We got him. And this is how I know, CNN, I've been watching CNN since 9/11. Since 9/11 happened, I have been watching CNN. I remember when it happened, I was watching the news constantly. And I've always just been very interested in politics and everything. I've been watching CNN for the longest. And I see the switch and stuff. I see the stuff that's happening now. They have a new person at the head of CNN right now, and they're trying to get money. And they're not able to get money from progressive folks and liberal young folks, because we're not subscribing and paying them no money. We're not even on cable. A lot of us don't have cable. I have cable, but that's strictly through YouTube TV. But a lot of us are, streaming. We just we're getting our news from everywhere else. We're reading stuff and subscribing to other news outlets, and we read it. And more media we're consuming, for those who fall into this category, are getting it from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all that other stuff. We're not getting it from just one source. We're getting it from multiple sources and stuff, and it's not always CNN. So CNN is just hey girl, we need the money. I need that money. So CNN is transitioning to getting more conservative folks. They want the conservative audience because Fox has it on lock. They have a specific audience that they cater to, and these folks have the TV on all day long, and Fox News is making money. CNN is losing money. So they want that. See, this is the issue when we talk about free market capitalism and all this other stuff. The news media is about making money, making profits. So certain stories and stuff will not get told from certain points of view. I just got through watching this video on the YouTube channel Second Thought, and they talked about why U.S. media is switching and moving towards right wing, and they were explaining this very, very thing, that even when it came to the railroad workers and stuff, how it was being reported on CNN, they was making it seem as though the workers were being selfish and they're gonna cause the end of the economy and just all this other stuff, instead of the railroad companies being greedy and trying to make money. Like they're trying to make money. Like y'all have let go so many people. We've been seeing a high number of derailments and everything. And y'all are out here like trying to make profits off of these people. Y'all don't want to pay them sick days. Y'all want them to work all day, every day. And these folks are saying, hey girl, we need more money, we need more pay, we need better things. And they just no. But also the railroad company has been making millions of dollars over the last couple of years. How CNN framed it in their coverage, and I was watching it too, they was making it seem as though the workers and stuff were asking for too much. So we're gonna see more stuff like that. And honestly, now we think about it, the current president, Joe Biden, was one of those people who came against the workers and stuff, which I'll be talking about him in a video separately, because I'm a tug on that old wig. I got some things to say, because for you to be asking for another 4 years from us, you can't really show a lot that you have done for us. And I'm going to be naming that in the video. And before you start saying, well, he has and da 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 da, I'm going to lay it out. So be prepared. Be prepared for the return of the king. Period. What else is going on? I think I talked about Don Lemon and all that other stuff. I got into Don Lemon, girl, has a history of anti-blackness, was kissing all the CNN boots, was doing the most, was out here telling black folks to pull up their pants on the news. I was watching a clip, somebody posted Don Lemon was on CNN telling black folks to pull up their pants, to get an education, and pick up the trash in their neighborhood. And I understand people grow, but Don Lemon was on a platform with millions of viewers saying stuff like this. So it's girl, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, unfortunately. That's just what it is. Or unalive by the sword, because we don't want YouTube to be out here. It's elimination time. But girl, yes, I briefly want to talk about this Ralph Yarl situation, very briefly. I normally do not cover stuff like this in the King of Reads video. I normally wait for stuff on Patreon because it turns into a lot. It just turns into a lot. I was just talking about something on Twitter earlier today, and the bots had just came out of nowhere. It just was it was just bad. The Twitter is just going downhill, to be honest. And it's amazing that we're still on it. But yes, Ralph was this young boy who was trying to get his sister, knocked on the door of this house, and unfortunately, experienced what he experienced. I can't name it in this video, but you see now where they're trying to parade this older white man who has done this, was scared and terrified or whatever. He's old, and his ex-wife, who he married at 16 when he was 19 and had kids with, she came out and said that he was always ignorant, he was always abusive, he was all these things. So, even his kids are estranged from him. They don't talk to him and stuff. They girl, no, this man is evil. Evil. But, they're easy to put this man, make him seem like he the old man from Up that just needs to be given some balloons on the house to make. No. There was no reason for that boy to be done like that. There was no reason for that to happen at all. It's what? Huh? I just don't get that. I just knocking on the door and you just what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? That it just make any sense. Oh God, girl, keep telling y'all, wait for the meteor any day now. Come on, sister, we waiting on. Hurry up. And we've been seeing other stories of people, we've been seeing stuff like this, knocking on the wrong house, stuff going on. I remember when me and my friends had went to a cabin trip 2 years ago. I think this was in 2020. We went on a cabin trip and we had went, we had the wrong directions. I don't know, for some reason, we went to this specific cabin, and this cabin was just girl, we shoot and ask questions later. And I thought that this was the cabin I was supposed to be pulling up in. I was okay, this is the cabin that we're supposed to be in. And it was no, girl, this is not the cabin you're supposed to be in. And it took the wrong road. And I'm in this black Challenger with dark tint pulling up. I just, like, I could have lost my life. It's just, girl, like, we don't realize how anti-black the world is until we experience it. And even the experience that we see, sometimes we can't necessarily see it. Your child is innocent, didn't know anything. Just like, hey, I'm just trying to get my sister. And like, he'd be damaged for the rest of his life. Like, for the rest of his life. Because an older white man was scared of a little black boy. Like, come on now, be serious. Be serious. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with you being old and scared. You was just being old and racist. Period. So yeah, girl, let's move on. So yeah, like, I want to talk about, I want to briefly talk about Jamie Foxx. A lot of people have been discussing him and like very curious of what's going on with him. Apparently it's been reported he had a stroke and while he was in Atlanta or something, he's been in the hospital and stuff. A lot of people have just been like, what's going on? Why we ain't been told stuff? It's like, this is a private matter. This is something that's going on with Jamie Foxx, like, and his family and stuff. Like, this is when we talk about entitlement. Remember I did the video about Frank Ocean, folks were talking about like people being entitled. Like, this is entitlement. We're not entitled to what's going on with Jamie Foxx. Like, he doesn't have to tell us anything. He is in care, he's taking care of himself, and people take, like, his family showing up for him, that's all that matters. We don't need to know updates and all this other stuff. It's not like he's supposed to be giving us something or we paid something. It's just like, hey, this man is not doing well. Like let him heal, let him, what's his name? It's just like, people were doing a lot. I'm hoping Jamie Foxx is getting better because he is like a very talented person. He's like, I grew up watching him and looking at his stuff, and like, he was just, I actually remember when I was in high school, when the movie Ray came out, and we had this little class day in my school, and I had did Ray Charles because I had these glasses that I had 3 pair of glasses that my mama had bought me. And I think around this time, my mama had, like, she had good vision insurance. Shout out to FedEx. She had some good vision insurance. And she had something, I don't know if it's my mama or dad, they had good vision insurance. My mama had spent like $400 or $500 on me, like, these 3 frames. And one was like these really cute ones, and I broke them laying and sleeping them, and there was these other ones and I lost them, and the other ones was like some shades. Like, I just wear them for like being when we in the sun and stuff. And like, that's the only pair I had, so I had to wear them every day. I was in class with these shades. My mama said, we not buying you no more glasses. We told you not to sleep in them. We told you. And I had to wear them glasses for the rest of the school year. Like, I was in pictures like with these shades on in class. Like, it was hilarious. Oh, I love my mama so much. Those were some times, child. Those were some times. But I had did Ray Charles. And I remember, like, I wish we could find that video, that home movie. Oh my God. Because I was playing Ray Charles, we had the little keyboard, and I had fell out the chair. It was just like, the crowd went wild. Like, girl, I've always been an entertainer, girl. I always been that, like, the girls was living for that. The girls was like, oh, they was like, oh, it was so cute. I had the little 3 girls behind me. Dude, it was, oh, memories. I'm 30. I'll be 36 in August. Oh my God. Oh my God. But yes, yeah, that's that. So let's move on. Let's talk about Usher. Usher Raymond is, girl, he's saying, hey girl, I would be a fool to turn down the Super Bowl. So many thoughts, because it's like, one, girl, the NFL is still the NFL it was when we was boycotting them allegedly a couple years ago. So now you have all these black artists back performing and stuff. It's so interesting. But girl, it's just a mess. Wow, that was quick. But yes, I would, definitely be interested in Usher performing at the Super Bowl. I think he definitely has the hits. He is, doing it. Like, I think he said he was working on or about to put out an album celebrating the 20 years of Confessions. Confessions was an album, but do you hear me? Every song on Confessions was played on the radio. Every song, like, girl, and y'all comparing him to Hip Hop Harry, Chris Brown, girl, y'all got some nerve. Like, every song that man had on that album, memorable. Like, the girls still have Confessions. They still have Can You Handle It on their sex playlist. Like, girl, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. Like, yeah, hit, throwback, confessions, what's the name? I think it was the song, Burn, Caught Up, Superstar. Girl, Truth Hurts. I think that was played on Bad Girl. That's what it's made for. Can You Handle It? Do It To Me. Take It Like My Boo. Red Light. Seduction. Girl, hits on top of grits. What is you saying? Hits on top of grits. Salt but no sugar. Because I don't put sugar in my grits. We grown over here. But shout out to girls who do. I don't. But I might cut up some sausage and put it in there. I love a good sausage patty and a good sausage. But yes, like hits on top of grits, period. Like Usher Raymond, that nigga. And I am going to see him perform. I am going to the Las Vegas residency. Do you hear me? I have like 4 different folks who want to go with me. My good sister in Costa Rica want to go. Justin, my guy in Atlanta, want to go. A good friend of mine in LA wants to go. The girls want to go. Tell me where they go. Tell me where. And I want to go. I want to see Usher perform. And I just seen, I think Kim Foster said she went. It was just amazing. I gotta go. I'm going to see that man perform. I don't care. Like I'm going to see that man perform. I'm going to see Beyonce in August, and I'm going to see Usher in October. Period. That's what's happening. Let me get my coins together now, sister. So yeah, I think the only thing I want to talk about as we coming to the end of this video, I want to talk about the Freaknik documentary. Girl, y'all is showing out. Like watching these like documentary clips and stuff. Girl, the way these men were talking about women walking around in clothes and just saying, well, if you walk like that, what you expect? You up for grabs. Like, that culture is still very much alive now. Like, it's still very much alive. Like, it might not be as quote unquote bad, but it still happens. Like, these men were snatching women. And you know, you got folks on Twitter talking about, what y'all aunties and mama's gonna be doing when they get on the Western lane. Just like been dogging women out. But nobody is talking about the men. Like, I watched one dude, he was in an army, like, PT shirt, and the other dude was in some fraternity letters who was saying, well, y'all out here wearing this, like, you deserve it. Like, I'm just like, girl, like, these are black men. These are y'all uncles and y'all daddies. Granddaddies, probably to some of y'all out here saying stuff like that. Y'all talking about the women, you know, showing their stuff, consenting. What about the men who out here snatching women up? That's what y'all need to be talking about. But that's how misogyny works. Girl, y'all out here talking about women out here looking bad, looking quote unquote hoish, when y'all ain't like daddies, granddaddies, and uncles out here the whole race. Like, hello? Pick up the phone, like, and call 911. And then they get arrested ASAP. Cause girl, it ain't making sense. It's not making sense. Like, yeah, girl. But that's all I got. I have some other things I want to talk about, girl. I want to tug on B. Scott Wig a little bit. Because he did a little Breakfast Club like thing recently. And he was just kind of dragging Andy Cohen and was saying that Andy Cohen doesn't have the range or whatever, should be hosting these Black Real Housewives franchise or whatever. He needs to da-da-da. And B. Scott was saying, you know, I had a tea and the girls come to me, and like he was just talking about the history, you know, what B. Scott has with Bravo. And Bravo was, you know, mad at B. Scott for reporting on some of the stuff and all the other da-da-da. And B. Scott like had too much dip on his chip. B. Scott was saying like, cause if they don't, like, I can drop it, like, girl, first, he talking about he had tea, he can end it all, or something like that. A fight with Bravo, Universal, NBC, you do not want, girl. They will bury your ass, like, girl, they will bury you. And I don't even mean that like in a celebrating NBC like a big corporation to a little whatever. not that saying shady that B. Scott is little, but it's just like Universe is $1 billion corporation. B. Scott is just not. And there's just no shade. But first of all, the Real Housewives franchises are on the down. A lot of them are not watching those anymore. Like the ratings have been flopping. The cast ain't even being paid that much. So much to the point that they're on, other shows in the middle of the season. And they used to film one part of the year. Now they filming 2-3 shows to make ends meet. And that's just what it is. So, girl, Bravo is not worried about any of that. And I get what, B. Scott is saying. Like, he would like to be working on some stuff like that or doing something. But they already have something. It's called Watch What Happens Live. And Andy Cohen does that. And for B. Scott to, you're talking about some of the range and all the other stuff. Like, B. Scott, you just shared an article on your website, kind of like essentially, blaming the victim of Jonathan Majors, like reporting and saying, oh, she was found out dancing and partying after the incident. It's just like, you don't have the range either, sister. Like you've written other stuff that's like been very questionable things too. And honestly, no shade. B. Scott the stuff that's written on B. Scott's website, it's not even written. Like it's about 3 sentences, and the rest of it is page 6 or TMZ stuff and quotations, and then a question at the bottom. So, girl, come on now. It's not giving journalism. Love B. Scott. I do check out their website and look at some stories and stuff. Definitely when it comes to anything comes with Bravo. But I just think that whole thing. First of all, no person like yourself should be even on a show like Breakfast Club, considering how transphobic they have been to other folks. Not saying that B. Scott is trans, but how B. Scott shows up and what he dealt with BET, I would think that the Breakfast Club is the last place that he will be in. But, industry. That's all I got. I done talked on enough wigs for today. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.